Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Brilliant Health Community Lifescape Premier Healthy Kitchens, Healthy Lives cooking class. My name is Dana, and for those of you who have been following these live broadcasts, thank you so much. For those of you who are joining for the first time, welcome. Always wonderful to build the community. Today we're going to be making a really simple but amazingly delicious and a huge crowd pleaser recipe. This is it's called End of Summer Watermelon and Tomato Salad, and it uses some fresh herbs, some olive oil, a little bit of salt, lime juice, all this stuff that makes our mouths say yum, and builds a good, strong foundation for health. Before I get started, as you all know, I like to talk for just a minute about something that's top of my mind before the class begins. And what I was thinking about today is something really just absolutely sweet that I saw when I was out walking my dog, which I do every morning. And it was a house I passed by. The garage door was open, and I could see this adorable little boy walking out. And he was dressed in his onesie pajamas with his hair sticking up, and maybe all of 2 years old. And his mom was in the garage making up a dance routine for exercise. And she was able to watch her son and keep herself healthy at the same time. And that was my moment of happiness and gratitude, and for the environment of positivity that I like to see other people express, that I do too. So hopefully that brought a smile to your face, especially you moms who are out there doing your Zumba and your step and your core and your HIIT with your kids running around underneath your feet. So today, let's jump into the recipe. And some of you are cooking along. Some of you may decide to make this after you see it. It really is so simple and delicious and fantastic. And so I've pre-cut all the ingredients so I can just focus on putting things together and not being stressed out. That is something else I was thinking about earlier today. I was out riding my bike and thought about that concept of stress and how we're always told to manage our stress. And I'm always thinking about, asking you to not come into the kitchen stressed, to cook stressed, to, cause yourself to slip with the knife or pour too much salt or, somehow throw your recipe off. But what I'd like to do is reframe that and think about stress more in terms of, I used to say interrupt it, but today it came to me that wasn't actually the right word either. The right word would be, can you channel it? Can you channel it in a different way so that it becomes productive instead of anti-productive? And so I was channeling my stress this morning by biking and riding really hard up all the hills. And you may find different ways to channel your stress, but try to do that before you come into this space of creating food and nourishment for yourself and for others. So those are my two big thoughts of the morning I wanted to share. And so moving on into the recipe itself, I have cut up a small watermelon, and I have to tell you, it looked really small when I bought it, but it was really yielded a lot of fruit, and they keep giving and giving. And one of the things I wanted to mention about watermelon is when you cut it, it's actually kind of an art, and this may be your stress channeling or redirecting activity. So you take the watermelon and wash it off, and then cut off each end so you have a flat surface instead of a round globe. And then you're going to want to go ahead and flip that so it's on its nice flat surface, and then just take your knife and just shave around it, all the way around it. And once you've done that, you can then cut it in half, place one of the big halves down on the cutting board, and then cut it into checkers. So slice across and then slice across. And then you end up with these really nice even cubes. The success of this salad is the cubes. You don't want your watermelon shapes random all over the place. When we eat, one of the reasons that we really like our food is because of the mouthfeel. And when everything is uniform in shape, it has the same mouthfeel, and it will also take the dressing evenly, so each piece will be coated nicely. One of the other things I wanted to mention about the watermelon is that we have this idea that watermelon is a high sugar fruit, and that's actually not true. Interestingly, if you take a cup of watermelon and measure the grams of sugar, it's 9 grams of sugar. That's not a low sugar item, but it's not as high as one may think when you compare it to a cup of mango. And mango is definitely a high sugar fruit. That has 23 grams of sugar per cup. It doesn't mean you can't ever have mango or enjoy that, but it's just thinking about this in relation to other things that you can compare like to like. Another example is 1 cup of an apple is 11 grams of sugar. So between an apple, a mango, and a watermelon, if you're following a low glycemic diet, meaning low sugar, foods that aren't converted quickly to sugar, managing pre-diabetes, diabetes, or just in general trying not to overload yourself with an inflammatory ingredient, then watermelon is actually a pretty good choice. The other thing that's really cool about watermelon is it's super high water content. Everybody knows that, but it's 92% water, which means that it's a very potent hydrator. And because the water is packaged up in a fruit, it has naturally occurring electrolytes to help you bring that water from around your cells inside your cells, which is where the hydration actually occurs. So you can get a couple of benefits all at once by doing the watermelon. And actually there's others, and I'll kind of talk about that as we go along. Vitamin C is a really prevalent vitamin or nutrient in watermelon, and we all know that that's anti-inflammatory and a great antioxidant. I use vitamin C a lot in my practice with my patients, especially to help calm down the gut or the GI tract when it's inflamed. Also, lycopene is present in the watermelon salad, and that's a strong antioxidant that can do a lot of great things. When I think of lycopene, the first thing that comes to my mind is eye health, but it's also skin and brain health, as well as a cancer fighter. So nothing wrong with that. And then the final thing is there's an amino acid actually present in watermelon that we don't really talk about that much, but it's called L-citrulline. And this is interesting. It may increase nitric oxide levels in the blood. Why is that important? Well, nitric oxide is important because it helps expand our blood vessels. And when the blood vessels are expanded, your blood pressure can drop. So it's a natural way to help manage blood pressure and keep you healthy. Okay, there's enough of the science of that all. So back to our watermelon salad, what I'm going to do is bring this front and center. And then I'm going to add in the tomatoes. As I was perusing the store, I saw these absolutely beautiful yellow heirloom tomatoes. The recipe calls for cherry, but really any tomato is fine. And I thought this would be a nice treat because it is, I guess, technically coming up on the end of summer. In Arizona, we're still going to wear shorts for a while. But either way, this is a nice option. And as you guys know, I love color. When we eat the rainbow, we get a whole wide array of phytonutrients and antioxidants. Each color has its own unique properties. And if anybody's interested in really digging into that more, just email me and I'll send you a great ebook that you can really enjoy learning more about each phytonutrient and what it does in every color. So what I did is I just chopped this up into the same size cubes as the watermelon, and then I'm just going to take a spoon and gently bring this all in combination and then mix it up. I'll show you how it looks here in a minute. And one thing about this salad is you do need to eat it pretty much the day that you prepare it, because these are really delicate fruits, and tomato is a fruit, not a vegetable. And so it will get soft and unappealing after the initial serving. So make sure that you are preparing this on the day you want to eat it, and that you have a big crowd of people around, or a few people that really love watermelon. Either way. Okay, so then the next thing we're going to do is squeeze some fresh lime juice, And I have my trusty citrus squeezer. Most of you already know about this and probably have some. So I've got my lime half, and it's actually a little bit bigger than the one in here, so I'm going to switch to the lemon size. And then just go ahead and squeeze through. This may also be another way to channel your stress, right? By just squeezing and getting the juice, tip it from side to side, and breathe. Breathing is amazing, really simple and so effective. So I'm going to do the other half on the other side of this, and then I will show it to you, I promise. And I always tip it a little bit to get the little excess juice out. I always buy an extra lime just because sometimes that really makes the difference in something being okay and something being wow, fantastic. So I'm just going to mix that in. This is the other nice thing about this dressing is you don't have to mix it in a separate bowl. It just takes right onto the fruit as you go. All right, this is my King Kong sized bowl of watermelon and heirloom tomatoes. And the juices from these are already forming their own dressing, essentially. Really aromatic, fresh, just fantastic smell. And then the next part is, as you guys know, I love to use some healthy fats in all my meals to help balance that blood sugar spike from having fruit. And so this is the extra virgin olive oil. This is the Sprouts brand. It's organic, cold pressed. You can buy any brand that you like. There is a whole another discussion to be had around olive oils and quality and where to get them and that kind of thing. That's not our discussion today, but just note that in general, if you get an organic, extra virgin, cold pressed oil, you're on the right track. So I'm just going to drizzle this over the top, and don't be skimpy with the oil. This helps bring out any additional fat soluble nutrients that we're looking at. Not as much so in this dish, but there's potential. It also brings a nice sense of satiety. And then what I'm going to do is sprinkle on some black pepper. This is just some ground black pepper. And you can do this to taste. Those of you experienced chefs know exactly how much you like. Those of you who just like to nibble and taste and try, do that too. Have fun. And then I'm just adding some finely ground pink Himalayan salt. I love this salt. It has a little bit of a different flavor than regular sea salt. It's more minerals, and I'm just sprinkling that over the top before I mix it in. I don't know if you can see that on screen or not, but it's starting to look fantastic. So I'm going to take the spoon and just mix it a little bit here and there. Watermelon actually has many different purposes or roles or ways that you could eat it, I guess I'm trying to say. So you can make it into a salsa. You can add this on top of a green leaf salad if you like. You can also juice it with some other ingredients. And then finally, you could freeze it into popsicles. The juice can become popsicles. So different ways to enjoy it. And then here's the piece de resistance. This is fresh cilantro. If you like cilantro, go for it. Use an abundance of it. It's a great detoxifier. And that's a big deal right now. It's not only about putting the right things in, it's getting the wrong things out, or the things that we don't need anymore. And so supporting the liver in its big job of detoxifying our bodies every day is always a good act. And then the other piece is, it's mint, but today I'm using basil because there wasn't any mint at the store when I went shopping, but there was this big container of gorgeous organic basil. And so either one, you can intermix your herbs as long as you like them. So I'm just putting those now into the bowl. And I cut these up into shreds, and the aroma from these is just unbelievable. So you can see how this is starting to form itself into a really beautiful salad. And so I'm gonna mix those in. And that's another reason why this salad is just a make on the first day, and then keep, you eat it till it's gone, because all of these things are very delicate. the fruits, the herbs, they're going to want to be seen and honored and respected on the day that they're showing up. So keep that in mind. So I'm going to have our staff eat this today since I'm not able to share with all of you. And then the last thing that you can do, which is one of my favorite things, is to add some pumpkin seeds. And these are pepitas, if you want to think of them in the Spanish word. And these are just raw, organic. You can buy them toasted if you want. I usually encourage all my patients to buy them raw and toast them themselves, just because when nuts and seeds are commercially toasted, they tend to do it at a high temperature and large volumes, and the heat is too intense, and it can damage those delicate oils in the nuts and seeds that make it not as healthy for us as we would like. Or you can just do them raw, either way. The one thing about pumpkin seeds, though, I just want to remind you about is that they are such a great source of magnesium. And one of my role models, I would say, Rebecca Cook. She's a fantastic culinary translator. And this is her recipe that we're making today, actually. And she calls them nature's little antidepressants. So go ahead and give these a try. And I'm just going to go ahead and use them raw, straight out of the bag. And I'm just sprinkling them over the top. And then you could serve them in a little dish on the side for those that really like them and want to add some more. And this adds just that final little bit of texture where you have sweet, salty, crunchy, you're hitting all the taste buds in the mouth, everything that makes for a delicious meal. We eat with our eyes first and our nose, and then we eat with our mouths and our senses. And I do remind you to keep everything in a relaxed, mindful state. And look at this gorgeous dish. Hope you guys can see this. It's really amazing how satisfying it is to just combine a couple of simple, high-quality ingredients into a dish. And afterwards, you're welcome to add, if you want, you can serve this alongside some fish. That would be a nice light way to incorporate this into a meal. Some mahi-mahi would be fantastic with some ginger. You could put, some shrimp on the grill. All kinds of different ways to enjoy. So perhaps this can be on your menu this weekend, moving into the holiday. And if any of you have any questions or like to share anything, you can always do that on this Facebook page, and we'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. There'll be another Healthy Kitchens, Healthy Lives cooking class coming up next month. We're still virtual for a little while, but at some point we'll all get to come together again in community and share and taste and have that extra element of connection. But until then, I'm so grateful for all of you for watching. Try this recipe. It's really, really good. The watermelons are great in the store. You can't lose right now. Whichever one you pick is going to be the right one. And until I get to see you again, be well.